Today we're going to talk about the new Gretsch DuoJet controller. It's a new controller that came out with the Rockband Beatles game. Obviously it works with Rockband 2, Rockband 1. Might work with the other games. I don't know. This controller is fantastic. It offers you a little bit larger scale, not quite full size, but as you can see, considerably more normal looking for a person who's 6'1". The little strat was everything was crammed a little too close to the strum bar. The solo buttons and the regular buttons are actually the exact same spacing on this as the Strat controllers. They are just farther away from the strum bar, giving you a longer neck and a more natural playing position if you're above 5 feet tall. Not that there's anything wrong with being short. Short guys are great. And you even have these solo button options if you got the little tiny hands and you want to have your buttons closer together. But for a full-size dude, they finally come out with a controller that goes with the game, that fits the person who's playing it. Now, all that being said, after playing on this for a few hours, I couldn't help but think we could make this a little bit better. The strum bar had a very long stroke. You literally bottomed it out, top and bottom, to get a strum going. And I prefer a guitar that has more of a string-like action, where I can flick at the strum bar as opposed to push on the strum bar. Likewise, for alt strumming, I find it cumbersome to top and bottom out the strum bar for every single alt strum. So let's take a look inside and I'll show you how we made this one a little bit better. Okay, we're looking at the inside of the new Gretsch DuoJet Beatles George Harrison replica. It's a great instrument right out of the box. I really like it. The only thing I don't care for is the amount of throw in the strum bar. You can see we've got the standard Rockband 2 internals, almost. Your magnet, your switch. Magnet comes over to the switch, strum. Magnet goes over to the switch, you get a strum. Now what they've done is they've increased the thickness of this rubber protection on that center, so hopefully people won't be smashing this into the center and breaking it like was a problem with the original Rockband 1 Strats. In fact, there is a revision of the Rockband 1 Strat where you will find a leaf switch type switch in there. My only complaints are torsional rigidity in the strum bar. You can see this. I can easily flex the strum bar in two different directions by applying force to the two different corners of the strum bar. Would you ever do that in play? No, but I guess if you're hammering away on one corner, you can see that you can actually deform the strum bar. I think it was Master 2 All that suggested filling this whole area in with hot glue to give that structural rigidity. I like that idea. I'm going to do that. I'm also going to change where this magnet activates this switch by simply raising this circuit board up altogether. Okay, we're looking at the strum bar switch, the strum bar magnet. I want to free this circuit board from its mount. Fortunately, it's only held in by hot glue. So we just pull away the hot glue on both sides. And we'll be able to free this little circuit board that holds the switch. And there's your switch, and it's very simple. Magnet gets close to that, you get a strum. And because we're dealing with a fulcrum, as you raise this circuit board up in its perch here, it's all the way down, it actually snaps in. As you raise it up, it's going to get closer and closer to the strum bar at the top of its stroke. Okay, take a look at this. It's a regular old zip tie. I'm going to bend it into a little V. There's a pair of needle nose pliers to get a nice crimp in it. Keep your finger out of there. Cut this off. And then what I should have is a little shim that I can use to establish the proper height for where I want the strum bar. I suppose you could use anything for this. I like my shims to contact in 2 points. By having the V, I'm able to straddle the riser that's on the bottom of this mount, as well as make sure that it's sitting in plane, not all wonky in there. What this is also going to let me do is make sure that I raise the height of the two strum switches exactly the same amount. You wouldn't want to have shorter or longer throw for up or down. You want consistency so you can alt strum without dealing with inconsistencies. So that was my idea for a little shim there. Once I get that in place and I'm perfectly stoked with it, I will put some hot glue on the two sides. Here's a strum switch in the new elevated position, and here's a stock switch. You can see that gets considerably closer sooner to the lower one than it does the top one, and that's exactly what I'm going for. I want it to activate with a nice little flick as opposed to having to really push it all the way down. You can see if you really meathead it, you can get it to contact the rubber casing, but it's got a hardy rubber casing on it, and there's really no reason to get that aggressive with a toy guitar. So I'm not really worried about that. As you can see, it's clearly more efficient for alt strumming, so you don't have to max out your throw. You can also see that I have filled this strum bar with hot glue, just to give it some torsional rigidity, maybe a little more weight to the flick feel. It's also improved the sound. It's got more of a low thud than the, grab a standard Rockband 2 Strat here, and you can hear clearly the kind of twangy click of the stock setup and the much lower solid sounding tone of the hot glue filled strum bar. It's not rocket science. Like I said, I think Master 2 All was the first guy to post about filling his strum bar with hot glue way back when. I think we all thought he's crazy. I'm not saying he's not crazy. I'm just saying I got to give credit where credit's due. The guy's right. It feels better. Alright, so here's the internals of our modified light action Gretsch Duo Jet guitar. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take out this little bit of dead play in the center, that click where it's trying to kind of neither move up nor down, just float in the middle. I hate that. Fortunately, someone else probably had this idea at one point in the production schedule, because what we've got here is we've got a perfect little tab here and a nice little screw mount there. Okay, what we're doing here is we're installing some centering springs for our strum bar to get rid of that kind of dead spot in the middle. I've already done this side, and I'm going to show you how I did it on the other side. I'm using some very technical rubber bands here. These are ponytail specific. They don't have to be clear, but this is a really good size. I took the tiny little silver screw out that was in this location, and I'm replacing those with a screw with a built-in washer, just to give me a little lip there so my rubber bands won't jump off. Install my screw with a lip on it down here. Now I'm going to double up my rubber band on itself. It's always good to have extras, so when you break one you can reach down and grab a new one instead of screaming and yelling. Install that over that. Install it over the pre-existing post on the strum bar, and you're going to end up with a self-centering strum bar without the little dead spot in the middle. Even tension's of course important if you want it to be in the center. And in this case you can see that because the rubber band has slipped down behind that screw and not this one, I have a little more tension on the bottom than on the top. No problem. Just loosen the screw a little bit. Let the band slip in there. Nice. Now we're dead center. Give it just a little snuggie there to hold that rubber band in place. The same thing up here. And you're good to go. No more dead spot. Everything is sprung. You got questions? You need help? Come check us out. DocsRockBandMods.com. We void warranties daily. Here's the modified Gretsch Duo Jet with the light action strum bar. So you can alt strum very fast now. Much lighter action, exactly what I was looking for. If you have any questions about this, come and check us out. DocsRockBandMods.com.